Namaste, children. Welcome back to social science class. Children, in today's class, let us learn about Hyderabad-Karnataka. First of all, let us learn about the revolts of Badanayakas. You can see here Hyderabad, Karnataka. Here, children, about the revolts of Badanayaka, let us see. After the decline of Vijayanagara, the Badanayaka Palegares became dominant in Hyderabad, Karnataka. They were brave warriors. After 1800, they revolted against the British several times. And what were the causes for this revolt? Exploitation by the local zamindars, oppression by the British, and the passing of the Arms Act and the Forest Act, and provoked by the oppressions. The local rulers, the Palegaras, and common people revolted. After 1800, there were more than 25 revolts. In most of these, the Bedanayakas played a major role. The aim of the revolts was to drive out the British. The aim of the revolts was to drive out the British. What was the revolt of the Bedanayakas of Halagali? Let us learn. The Arms Act, which was passed by the British in the year 1857, had put a condition that the Indians could own arms only with the prior permission of the government. The brave and self respecting Bedanayakas could never accept such a condition. In order to impose the condition, the British resorted to force. The leaders who fought valiantly against the British were Jadaga, Bala, Rami, and others. In the conflict, several they died. 290 people were taken as captives and 19 were hanged. Though the revolt was suppressed, it occupies a permanent place in the history of freedom struggle. Children, Halagali is a small village in Mudhol Taluk of Bagalkot district. Well known for its wrestlers, even today the village rose to fame during the freedom movement. In Halagali, most of the villagers were Pedanayakas who possessed arms for hunting and self defense. So, let me tell you about Rami children. Rami was a valiant Bedanayaka woman who actively participated in the revolt. She shot dead three British soldiers and became a martyr. And also, a great person was Sindhura Lakshmana. Sindhura Lakshmana was a remarkable leader who fought against the British. Lakshmana was born in Sindhura village of Jet Taluk in Sangli district. His parents were Bedarasabu and Narasava. His tomb is at Bilagi. Sindhura village was under the firm hold of the local Inamdar, that is Gaudas. Lakshmana openly challenged him. Soon he became the enemy of the British. Lakshmana was plundering money from the rich and the British treasury and distributing it to the poor. He was also helping the oppressed. Meanwhile, the village assembly accused him of robbery. Greatly hurt, Lakshmana went into hiding. The British tried their best to capture him on charge of murdering a police officer. Later, in an encounter, he was shot dead. A martyr, Sindhura Lakshmana will be ever remembered in history as a revolutionary who passionately fought for freedom. Next, we can start the Nayakas of Surapura. Surapura is in Yadgiri district. It was the settlement of the brave Bedanayakas. After the death of Krishnappa Nayaka, the ruler of Surapura, Venkatappa Nayaka, a boy of 8 years became his successor. The Nizam and the British were waiting for an opportunity to annex Surapura to their territories. Though Venkatappa Nayaka received English education, the love of independence and patriotism were deep rooted in him. Meanwhile, strong waves of First War of Independence in the year 1857 also began to reach Surapura. Venkatappa Nayaka immediately decided to join the war. The young ruler received support from Mundaragi Bhimaraya, Baba Saheb of Naragunda, and other leaders. The British army laid siege to the fort of Surapura. A terrible fight ensued. On the second day, a senior officer of the British army died in the battlefield. This was a setback to the British. Hence, the British decided to take the fort by fraud. An important officer of the Nayaka revealed to the British the secret approach to the Surapura fort, thereby helped them to gain victory. Venkatappa Nayaka managed to escape to Hyderabad. Venkatappa Nayaka's aim was to recruit more soldiers with the help of the Nizam. But Salar Jung, the Nizam's prime minister, by expecting some reward from the British, made Venkatappa Nayaka a captive and handed him over to the British. The British awarded a death sentence to Venkatappa Nayaka. Later, the punishment was reduced to 4 years of imprisonment. When under captivity, Venkatappa Nayaka was shot dead by the British. Not only this, the British spread the rumor that it was a suicide on the part of Venkatappa Nayaka. He was 24 at that time. Thus, the life of an extraordinary freedom fighter who sacrificed everything for his motherland ended. The British transferred Surapura to the Nizam as a reward. Thus, Kalaburgi, Bidar, and Raichur were merged with the Hyderabad princely state. In the next class, let us learn about the struggle for liberation of Hyderabad-Karnataka. Thank you, children.